Boom! Stop! In episode 115 of Man Up, I answer the question of how to pursue a girl if you're really conservative.
Masculinity for the intelligent man. I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this is Man Up!
Hey, it's David Tian, Ph.D., and for the past 10 years, I've been helping tens of thousands of people in over 87 countries attain success in life and love, and welcome to episode 115 of Man Up. And I'm in Bali, Ubud still, and I'm just showing you from the lounge area. There's a beautiful pool. Let me show you here. Just wanted to show you this pool. Pretty cool. It's pretty busy. Well, this counts as busy right now. It's a lot emptier before, but afternoon tea time. Pretty busy. Beautiful jungle valley around. So there you go. I'm going to have a seat. I'll sit over here. Maybe get some greenery in the background. Okay, answering a question from the private Facebook group. And this time I don't have anything to rest my arm on. Maybe I'll do it here on this chair. Okay, cool. Cool, this works. Okay. It's kind of dark, but how about that? There we go. Some trees in the background. Okay, there's a question from Lee in the private Facebook group. It's a long question, and there's some irrelevant factors in here, but I'll try to just sum it up. So Lee says he noticed this Malay girl studying in school library. He's 24 years old. He says, I noticed her studying in the school library every day for the past 3 months. He goes on and on about whether she's Malay and all this. He says he was afraid to make a move. Nevertheless, he took the plunge near the end of exams to make a move, I suppose, by writing a note complimenting her diligence and also with his phone number before passing it to her personally in the library. Okay, so I guess like the context, I think it's important that he's in Singapore, and he says he's Chinese descent. That might give you some understanding of the context of all of this. Okay, so he passes this note to her, complimenting her on her diligence, and then 2 days later, she thanks him for the note and wishes him luck for the exams. He responds by introducing himself and asks for her name. Okay, gets her name then. It was only then that he realizes that she is Malay. He says, I don't know whether she only knows that I am Chinese at this point in time. But subsequently, I felt that our conversation became more like an interrogation, with her giving a one-sentence reply after several hours. It is probably worth mentioning that I tried to mirror her response time, and I talked only about school, because I do not want to make her uncomfortable. Yeah, just an aside, in case I forget, you've already made her feel uncomfortable by only talking about school. But, so anyway, going back to it, right? He talked only about school because he didn't want to make her uncomfortable by asking too much personal stuff at this initial stage. After receiving a one-sentence reply 4 times, he says he started to feel uneasy about her opinion towards him and decided to stop replying. And then posted on the Facebook group. I don't know whether she texted me because she is interested in me or just being polite. Okay. Even if she's interested, I have mixed feelings, he says, because I wanted to know her opinion regarding sensitive issues about race and religion, but I never had the chance because we have not reached the stage where it is appropriate to raise it. My question is, he says, how should I proceed from here? Is there no hope for a relationship with this girl? And then he apologizes again in case it sounds inappropriate. Okay, so there are 11 comments, like pretty much immediately after he posted that by different people. And a lot of them were very well-meaning comments, just basic comments like, hey, go out and like ask her for coffee or something, be proactive, ask her out, keep it casual. Don't talk about race and religion so much. Stop focusing on these things. It's too early for things like that. So those are very, very good comments. But I've been coaching for over 10 years, and let me tell you this: Lee isn't ready to get those comments yet because he's living in a previous era. Lee and many Singaporean boys, he's 24 years old, so you should really call him. I mean, he should have gone through the rites of passage of being a man by this point, but for everyone outside Singapore, understand that he is 3rd or 4th year university as a 24-year-old, and still very much with the sort of adolescent mindset of when it comes to dating. So basically what he did was he saw a girl for 3 months or 3 weeks and wrote a note to her complimenting her on her diligence, hand passed that note to her, and then over text just talked about school. So just so you guys understand the context of that. Understand where that's coming from. I got nothing against, that's a great world. That was the world of, just notice I get this damn pimple. I think I've been in the sun too much. That's the world of super conservative, just really traditional, courtship shit. I shouldn't say shit, courtship. That's the world where in India, where they have the arranged marriages, it still kind of makes sense because they're still doing this super formal dance of hey, do you want to be, be my girlfriend? And he's already asking, he's already thinking ahead to marriage with her, and he didn't just learned her name 3 days ago, and they haven't even had a real conversation yet. The only conversation they've ever had was over text, and she replied with thank yous and one sentence replies, and yet he's already thinking about race and religion and whether they can get married. The issue here is, in case you guys don't know about the Singapore context, the general sense, from what I understand of Malay marriages, is that a Malay male who's Muslim, a Muslim Malay male, is permitted to marry outside the Muslim religion, but a Malay woman is only permitted to marry another Muslim man. So if you're Chinese or you're not Muslim, you're supposed to convert in order for that marriage to happen under Muslim law. So I think that's the issue, right? So it's not just, he's talking about race and religion. He's actually looking at marriage. Okay, that's the issue. And I'm assuming he hasn't thought really about converting it, but that's where his mind is, right? So this is interesting, right? Because I was talking about this with some more Singaporean people. It's not my place to tell somebody what their values are, and if he wants to live in that world, power to him. It's just, I guess the wake-up call for him is there are very few people who are still living in that world, mostly males, and actually. So just a shout out to those people, not so much a shout out, but I just want to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of mid-20s and up to, actually I would say up to mid-30s Singaporean men, males, Singaporean males, who have views like that when it comes to dating, courtship, that the proper way to do things is to lay everything out like a contract already, have it all clear, a pathway all the way to marriage, and that before embarking on it. And then when they do, it's a very serious thing, all the way to marriage with clear obligations and responsibilities and a clear pathway forward. Basically like 18th century courtship in the rest of the world. That's where they live. They live in 18th century Jane Austen courtship world. And in fact, there was a lot more drama in Jane Austen than they're expecting to have. They want it to be basically, look for a wife. She looks acceptable. Let's start dating in order to get married. And there are religious conservatives who suggest this as a way of going forward, and I have nothing against that. I definitely don't think that the better way to do it is the liberal, fuck everything, have lots of sex until you're satiated with so much sex and then settle down. That's not any better. It's just the harsh reality is that if somebody is living in the modern MTV Hollywood world of dating, but you, Lee, are living in the 18th century courtship, arranged marriages almost, world of dating, that if you then try to bridge those worlds, you will fail. The guy who's in 18th century will lose every time. It's boring, it's constricting, there's no spontaneity, there's no freedom, there's no fun, there's no adventure, there's no spontaneity. Did I say the spontaneity? There's no independence, so you're gonna lose. And welcome to the 21st century. The thing is, I feel bad telling him, it's the 21st century now, because it's not like the 21st century is inherently any better. It's just that that's the way people are. And I know that there are Malay women and not just Malay, but women, females in Singapore who still are living with Lee's sort of approach to dating, but they're few and far between. And it's very hard for traditional societies to be protected in a highly connected to the internet type of society, because all you got to do is switch on your computer, hop on Google or hop on your Facebook, and you'll be inundated with, Justin Bieber and Kardashians and Hollywood and MTV and all those values being thrown at you. And then I know Singapore. When I moved there in 2008, 8 years ago, it was popping bottles and parties and everything, and people kept telling me, "Oh, it's so conservative." I'm like, where is the conservatism here? Everywhere I see people just hooking up. Admittedly, I never really made it out to the heartland until like 2 years in, but there was plenty of liberal partying and all that. So, of course, it just skipped the generations. The parents, in 2008, the people in their 50s were super conservative, or generally. The elite were not, but the middle class and lower classes were conservative, more conservative, more of like where Lee's coming from, right? So more 18th century kind of thing. Wait, 19th century, more like 19th century. It's not as bad as the 18th. But in the young people in their 20s and teens, late teens, were definitely MTV Hollywood already, you can't compete. So like if you're coming from a traditional background and you're trying to appeal to a girl who's just wants to be free and have fun, you're not going to be able to compete with that. She might, in her mid-30s or in her 30s, maybe late 20s, be looking to settle down. Or maybe if she matures very quickly, you'll be able to emotionally, she'll be ready to settle down with a guy like you, Lee, the way you are now. But the chances are not high on that. So the harsh truth is, Lee, if you really want to attract the young, good-looking women in Singapore, you have a lot to learn. And a lot of that learning doesn't have to do with strategies and techniques and methods and like what to say, because that's easy. That's easily accessible. I have tons of free courses on that. Just go to auratransformation.org. Or watch some of these Man Up episodes, but like your issue is actually at a values level, and I'm not going to be the guy to tell you to change your values. That's something you decide for yourself. So, or you can just move to a much more conservative place, because Singapore is not actually conservative. There are conservative elements, but the country as a whole, especially the young people, late teens and into their 20s, especially the women, the females, are not conservative, it's going to be hard for you to find somebody like there's a small enough country as it is with 5 million people. Imagine, like, I think it's like probably 10% or less of the young people are conservative the way you are, Lee. And that 10%, the majority is going to be male. Just because it's so much easier for the female to take advantage of the liberal values. Because you can get free bottles, you can get free entrance, you can get tons of attention and validation and approval from people. It just feels good, ego stroke. So it's hard for the female to resist unless she's got, like a religious reason to do so. And the way I see it, walking around the heartland, and of course downtown, there aren't that many young Malay women who are what I would consider like the covering up and super devout. To the point where you're at, the level you're at. So get modern, or you're going to have to find a society that's a lot more traditional than where you're at in Singapore. So hopefully people who are not from Singapore can now understand his concern about her being Malay, but then his juvenile attempts to attract her, to break the ice with the passing of the note, and then trying to keep it like comfortable by talking about school. I hope that makes sense to you guys now. I've been working in this area for over 10 years. A big portion of that in Singapore, and I understand where he's coming from in the sense of the values. I wouldn't. It's not my place to tell you what your values in life are. You decide that. But just so you know that there's a huge value clash going on right now. Okay, Lee, between you and that girl, Or if she happens to be conservative and traditional Muslim, she shouldn't even, I mean, you should be talking to her dad, you know, and you should make it clear whether you're going to convert before you even go any further, right? Like that. I mean, like, she doesn't like you. That's the thing. Right now, she doesn't like you. If she liked you, she would have responded more. She doesn't like you. But even if she did, the way that you're going, Lee, with your conservative values, it's a courtship on the way to marriage. And you just need to make that clear. But I don't think she's a girl like that. And even if she were, she doesn't like you right now. If you want to, I mean, you know, if you want to become more attractive, we have tons of research. I mean, that's what aura transformation is all about. But you'd have to reevaluate your values, and I'm not in a position to tell people how they ought to live, what values they ought to live their lives by. But just so you understand that that's the value clash that's happening. Okay, that was a pretty deep episode. I'm going to leave you with a shot of the pool. The sun's going to set soon. It's pretty nice here. Hey, look, I got this damn pimple. God damn it. Oh, it's a bug bite? Anyway, so that's it. You can see the horizon. It's just beautiful jungle, valley. So Lee, you can respond in the private Facebook group. Everyone else, join the private Facebook group. I'll see you inside there. You can ask your questions there. I answer them sometimes right in the comments. And until then, I'll see you in Man Up.